check out your video, and I think that some of your points are well intended but ultimately contradictory. For example, where you say that education or cheaper education will also mean that people will be motivated to have more children because the burden will be relieved from them, at least on that aspect. And obviously that is not correct. All studies shows that the more educated a person is, the less children they tend to have. You know, that's just the way it is. So cutting teachers, even though I do think that education should be automized, like Khan Academy is one of those examples that, you know, it will just blow your mind if you see what they are. I think we're not there, right? And we're not there because academia, it's really run by corporations today, and some people actually have called them the education industrial complex. And so the problem with teachers is really that there is such a thing as a shortage of teachers, maybe not in all fields, but certainly in important ones. And right now, United States is importing teachers from other countries to teach things like chemistry and stuff. At least that's the case in my school, where I will say that as much as 6 out of 10 teachers are foreign, right? So that has to tell you something about, you know, are we really overflowing teachers? I don't think so. At least maybe elementary school, which is the easiest kind, but certainly not all, right? And I think the low salary really, the guilty one is the corporate world, because colleges are corporations. So you get a terrible education, mass-produced, that is ineffective. Most of the money in schools, it really goes into infrastructure, because they want to make these huge buildings to impress newcomers and to sign up for the school, you know. So they have these big stadiums and stuff that have nothing to do with education more than, you know, luxury. And then the students are being charged for that luxury that is completely useless as far as education goes. So that's one of the problems. And the other problems is that as any corporation, they want to have exclusivity on their products, and they make their teachers to do to write their books, and then everyone gets a piece of the pie, you know, except the student, which have to pay for the pie. And you can say this is free market, but in reality, school is one of those things that are meant to be a service of any civilized society, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't progress. The more we progress, the more technology we have, the more education we need. We cannot come back to the feudal societies anymore if we want to even survive, you know, with the number of people in the world. So we need education, and education is really a pathway of having less children. It's just a another of your points refers to welfare. And in reality, the problem in this country is not really people's welfare. I mean, it is, you can say it is a problem, but it is only caused because of poverty and poor education, where people are not given a direction as children, which is a problem, because we are products of our society. Moving forward, it's really corporate welfare that is the problem. You look at major corporations, the richest ones in the world, they get their money directly from government, not the people, but from government. Most of the big corporations in the world. You look at the weapon industry, you have people with these large firms that produce weapons, and then they go into office, and then magically wars happen, and then they have to buy from those companies, and then after they're done with their candidacy, they come back and run these big corporations. You know, how magical is that? And it's obviously absurd to think that there is no compromise of interest in those situations, but no one is let's say powerful enough or influential enough to stop that kind of behavior. But that is the problem right now. You got the Fannie Mae and Mac, being a scam, a bubble that eventually blow up. You have GM, a company that asked for a bailout, and they not even had the decency to provide new specs for their vehicles. Can this vehicle compete against imports? They didn't have any of that. The government basically reached in people's pocket and say, here you go, that's it. And then because of that bold move, the bank cartels, they said, well, what the hell, let's do the same thing. And they did reckless bets because they knew they had their hands in the government, either because they pay for their campaigns, they have coercion, or they just simply pay them off. It's called lobbying. So that is the problem right now. And Wall Street is most of our GDP, right? And what Wall Street do, and I'm pretty sure you know this, but for anyone that doesn't, let's say a company, it's down 4 points this week. Well, I'm gonna buy it. And next week is up 5 points, then I'm gonna sell it. I just made a profit. I bought and sell, but there was no production. There was nobody getting benefit out of that except me. So that is the kind of market we have today. Is an unproductive market that only functions because we are the world reserve currency, which already has seen its end. China walk away from it, Russia walk away from it, Iran and all these Arab countries are preparing to leave it. They're not very happy with the United States right now. This whole Wall Street force is going to come to an end, like any Ponzi scheme does eventually. And regretfully, these people are the ones who are in control of the government, and these people are the ones that actually benefit directly from all these wars. That we have to pay at 50% of our tax money. 50% of our tax money goes into that crap that after the animosity is gone, nobody even really cares about. So it's ridiculous the amount of waste that is going in this society because of lack of organization, running the school system as if it was a service, but in reality it's a corporation. Of course they're going to scam us out of our money. Neither the state or the people seem to have enough money to pay enough for these people, who are obviously insatiable because they're corporations. Their goal is to make the most money, and who is going to get promoted is the one who gets the most money for the corporation, right? So it is not about cutting, definitely not about cutting. It's about correcting the way we conduct this society. And I definitely don't believe that we run the danger of the corporations being controlled by the government, because it is already the inverse of that. The best we can do is, I guess, it's a 50-50. So I think it's really misleading when you say, that let's cut on welfare when you don't even address the real problems. I mean, you did said we shouldn't be bailing out these shysters, which is correct, but it was like 2 seconds in a whole video that rant about cutting welfare and these welfare queens and all that. It's like we're having our throats slit open, and we're bleeding like in a Quentin Tarantino movie, and then you're saying that, oh look, there is a mosquito, you should swat that mosquito. It's completely misleading. Alright, so that's what I thought about the video.